Okay, thank you everyone so much for coming here today. So, as you may or may not know, this school is the home of the second IGM team in Romania. And we have a project that in a way works against Alzheimer's. And what it does is it targets tau aggregates and beta amyloid buildups, and it destroys. It's more complicated than that, and I will get to that. But the base of our project is we want to help people with Alzheimer's. And I will do it in English since we are a team of students in years 11 and 10. I'm year 11 and everyone else is year 10. There is a general student coordinator who unfortunately isn't present today, but he will be coming. And we have the wet lab and the dry lab. The wet lab is responsible for The wet lab is responsible for all of the work that we will be doing with the institute, and I want to thank Anton for helping us with getting the support from the institute. And the dry lab is a lot. We're also going to be focusing the dry lab a lot on what we do here today, because we want to implement this. We want to implement the MCP into our IGM project, and hopefully this will bring us more points and a better chance to. So I'm really looking forward to attending the workshop with you all. Aside from that, I don't know what else I could say. You guys have questions?
Maybe a few words about your constructs with fancy CRISPR.
Okay. So what we're doing is Bobo, which is the team coordinator, he used benchling to create a CRISPR that targets the catalytic site of beta amyloid. And what we want to do is order it and hope that it works.
It cuts proteins. It's not like classical DNA cutting CRISPR. Yes. And you also have switches. Come on, show your.
And we also have toggle switches. We're going to use RNA logic gates. And the toggle switches will be triggered by biological markers, which in this case will be the tau aggregates and the beta. And that will be like a safety feature, probably. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of resources available to conduct this experiment and make it a working prototype that can be used. So in the short time that we have left, we want to conduct proofs of concept for all of the separate modules, which, as I said, can be the CRISPR design, can be the toggle switches, and even a vesicle delivery system, if we can make it work. And all of these modules together, we want to get a proof of concept for them, and hopefully in the future someone will use our research to create promises. So that's it. And now,
okay. So now, okay. So thank you very much for the invitation, and your guys very modern, because you use so fancy new tools that when you came to Robi Takutu lab and people evaluated, they said, if we make whole institute work for it in a year, we have some chance to actually get it done. Well, I usually call IGEM is like a World Club for synthetic biology for students and high schoolers, and means that you are dealing with junior World Cup participants right now. And in IGEM, you actually have to prototype and fail fast. So it's okay if 10% of what they do will work. I think it can lead to BioBrick if 10% will work. And yes, so I am Anton Kulaga from Systems Biology of Aging group, and also from the second group is in Rostock Medical University called IBIMA. It's also on aging. And I am and I am like helping them. And one of the things that I suggested is that because there are like limited capacities for the wet lab, in iGEM you also have a software track. It means that if you build tools that can be helpful for other teams, you can get additional points. And one of the things that I pitched about is actually something is really fashionable in AI. It is called model context protocol servers. And the key idea is that different AI agents, you just configure which servers to use, and each server it just gives tools to AI, and we will show a lot of tools that we think can be pretty helpful for iGEM biology and bioinformatics, and to automate your work. And you can use it either in AI agents, or you actually can use it. That's what we will be doing here in very popular AI-aided code editors like Cursor, and also on charts like Anthropic Desktop that allow you, for example, to control your computer with AI dialogue. And also one thing to show that we know a little about it is that we recently won Bio AI Hackathon with our Holy Bio MCP project. So first, I want to actually understand the audience a bit. Who of you know what AI agent is and what is tool calling? Can you raise your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's around a third of the audience. I see. So probably I have to like make a short introduction, because before going with MCP stuff, you actually have to understand how AI agents work. And before understanding how AI agents work, you also have to understand the core idea before all decoder-based large language models. The idea is text completions. So here you see that we have a sentence that is split into parts. It's tokens. They are similar to words, a bit shorter. And the idea of any LLM, that if you use ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, is that you give initial text, and it has to, well, it's called completion. It has to extend the text. And even when it stops, it's actually called a stop token. And you see here in the example that we give like we need to, then LLM step by step, it adds additional words until it hits the end. Another important concept is that because of a lot of training data and a lot of text, it learned some internal representation. So on the picture, you see that for LLM, if you group different words, it actually has the semantic similarities, that it learns that banana is closer to apple than a cat, and cats are closer to dogs, even if they hate each other, than to bananas. When you like do with AI agents, so technically in all cases, LLMs just do simple completion. The core idea is actually LLMs are just text completion machines, but because we have different software to parse its input-output, we can just teach it to give comments that can be recognized by your execution environment. And based on the comment, you can say, okay, when it says open Google Chrome, please find the function that is already written somewhere by you, like a Python function, and let it open Google Chrome, for example. So LLMs, they can only make text, but because we can parse this text and execute functions, we can have agents that do actions. Yeah, maybe also have some shooting agents or something in the future, like in Matrix. And the key idea here is like an example of like a dialogue that so LLMs are really bad at math. So if, for example, they want to count, it's better for them to call an code execution tool, generate Python, execute it, and actually get the result. I want us to show something quickly, just before we go to MCP stuff, how actually it works. So in our case, we have, I don't know, like 20 or 30 open source libraries on AI, biology, and other things. And Just Agents is the framework that we are using, that we wrote when we were harassed by LangChain, another more popular framework. But the idea is that how, if you work from Python, how things look. If you don't know any programming, it's okay, because the idea is just put a play button and put some magic keys. So you put a play button and it activates the GitHub, and so typically on all of those, like when you interact not with the ChatGPT, not with the chat, but programmatically, you typically have what is called API keys. So you just go to the interface. So now it's an example with the cloud, and it's GrokQ cloud. It has various models. And let's create a workshop key. So it's just, you just have to copy this obscure string to allow authentication. And I think I have to install the modules. Livia, where is the string that installs?
Yes.
Yeah. So one important thing that I kind of skipped is I install the dependencies. So this pip install, it just installs the library. Then I execute this, and it asks for the keys. Actually, it also asks, yeah, we also use Gemini here. So Gemini is the model from, so for Gemini, it's actually, if you are using right now, the strongest model is not ChatGPT, it's actually Gemini 2.5 Pro. So if you need some exams or homeworks, it's better use Gemini. But if it is coding, actually Claude is better. So there is Claude Anthropic for Sonnet. So if you need to generate code, better use Anthropic. And Perplexity we skip. And I actually only use Gemini here. It's nice. So core idea is that if we have like a Python function, this is like a fake function. We can, so when we configure our AI agent, we just provide which model we are using. Here is just a predefined template, but overall it's something like this. It's just like a dictionary of what is the model, what is temperature, so how probabilistic it should be, whether it should select the best possible output, temperature 0 or not. And API base is actually which URL to use. And yes, so then we create an agent. So an agent is just like you provided the options, and as tools you just give a function. So because when it provide the, say, executed tools, the programming framework should find that, oh, I have this function and maybe I can execute it. And first we check that, let's actually check if it works. So we have this weather agent. that uses Gemini model, that knows gets current weather. What is important is that in case of LLMs, they usually make decision based on syntax of the function, and you actually explain what it can use it for. And what you see, so we have like a nice printing of what actually is happening, like the exchange between LLM and somebody can also switch off the sound. The idea is that you, as a query, you give it a prompt, like what you want as a user, but before you give it, there are also like a predefined behaviors of how it should behave. So I usually give it when I create an agent. So I just say you're a helpful AI assistant. That's like a default one, but you can put like the way how it should behave, how it should be. Should it be professional or layman? Should it like have a character and so on? And user says like asks about the weather in some cities. And so all the text, so for LLM, the only what it gets is a set as a text that it has to extend. And for convenience, what they did is that you send a JSON. JSON is just it's a text that has some structure, and you have messages there. So it's like a chat. So first you send a message like message role system, your assistant. When user asks, it will send the message with a role called user. And when it generates a message called with the answer that is marked as assistant. And the thing is that it also has, it can also, in message, if it needs to call a tool, it actually says rule tool call, and it gives parameters. So the only it generates, it just says call get weather and give it location San Francisco. And then it's not done by LLM, it's done by your code, is that it, because we registered this function, it actually finds, oh, I have the function called get weather, and let's execute it. And as an execution result, we give it to LLM with the mark that that's what the result is. Then LLM makes a completion again, and then it, because we asked for 3 different locations, it just asks like call this tool several times. And for each of the call, we got result. And as when it decides, okay, I know everything, then it generates like with a normal language, it generates the answer with everything that is needed. And yeah, so that's in few words how things work. We will not continue with the notebooks, but in case if you would be interested, I just give a link. And we also already taught a workshop on how to program AI agents. So those of you who is interested, we actually, in description of this workshop, we gave it as a prerequisite examples. So what is the problem of this approach? You saw I installed some libraries. I had to have like some Python code. And I assume that most of you don't want to handle all this infrastructure and Python libraries. There are like about 100 of agentic frameworks. So agents written in one framework will not be compatible with others. What you really want to do is to just once configure things and get the benefit. And for this, we are introducing the MCP. So what is the MCP? It's an idea that somebody wrote a server. You don't know what is inside, but you just connect to it. You just configure, please use the server, and it does things magically for you. And originally, it originated from actually endeavor by Anthropic. It's like best coding and actually pretty good overall model Claude that they make. And they made Claude Desktop because they wanted people to control their desktop manually. Actually, I think Livia, yeah, by the way, introducing Livia. So Livia is also now member, also proud hackathon winner, and also member of Longevity team. And also separately from this, she is a founder of Glucose DAO, but she will pitch later on Glucose DAO. But Livia, do you think maybe we can show how actually this Anthropic desktop works with some file interactions? Maybe we can switch to my presenting to Livia. Livia, and let's see how to unmute her.
Yeah, so now I hear myself through your thing, so I can, yeah, I'll do the share screen. Meanwhile, this one. So, yeah, so what Anton was talking about was this wonderful called Claude Desktop. You can actually download it directly. I think if you just like Google Claude Desktop, and actually it works better on Windows. They don't have issue. They don't have a version for Linux. You can just download it Windows or Mac. What it does, it's basically like you'd have, okay, the comparison might be a bit offending, but a small chat GPT for your computer. How we are going to use the MCPs, it's the following. In their settings, file settings, they have this developer options, which if you just installed it, it might need to be activated to allow developer options. It's actually important. And you have this config, which in my case is already made, but you'll have like edit config file, which will open you where Claude Desktop stashes this JSON. A JSON file which would look something, well, without all the text, just MCP servers and the parentheses. These are what I added. Here, if you add the first comments here, file system commands, this part without the comma, literally this one. Well, actually, I can copy paste it in WhatsApp if it helps you. Just you have to be careful with the formatting. Okay, so by the way, in the text that I pasted, obviously you'll have to replace each of you the paths to the desktop and the downloads folder. This is in my computer, which each of you have your own path. But what's important, after you fill in the MCP, the JSON, basically after you close and save it, you should have this like file system appear here, like you have access to it. And when you do like new chat, you'll see that here in the search and tools, you have, well, now it's disabled because I had an issue, but I can disable the Google Workspace and enable that one. You'll have the tools from file system. Okay, let's enable all tools. And what can you do, for example? I put this enable. Let's see. Tell me how many files and what types I have in my downloads folder. Let's see. In theory, it should see that it has the function request allowed directories. It worked directly in my case. It will ask you probably like run or allow, because I've ran it before. Usually Claude Desktop has this issue. This thing that the first time you're running an MCP, because it's an external application, it will ask you, do you trust this source? Do we run it? And then it will do, let's see what it found. 174 items, Rhino AutoCAD.
You can ask suggested to
Let me see.
organize it.
So if we go to downloads and we go to list probably, And let's see, 155 items it says here. Why didn't it find it all? Because it says 174. Actually, it found more. It's possible. Yeah, maybe it skips it because I do have some of those. Let's see, a 3D modeling file, AutoCAD and Rhino 9 files. Let's do like this, sort by type. Actually, group by type, it would be better.
Maybe you can ask to find duplicates or organize it, something practical.
But I don't want to delete stuff. Oh, actually, I can ask if I still have duplicates.
You can ask it to separate them by folders. And those that are like in root, it can create nice folders and actually move them to those folders. So you will have it by what they do actually.
Okay, so let's see. Do I have duplicates in the folder? And you can actually give it access to any folder you want on the computer. And you can actually make it like storage. Why I was arguing earlier with Anton was that you can APK it one, two. Yes, I do download. Yeah, this is literally. Yeah, he has a point. I should be cleaning those 8 to 10s. And actually, if you're wondering what can I do, I mean, because you can just type and find out, you can go here to file system and see what it has. Read files, write file, edit, create directory, list directory, directory tree, move files. Let's see like this. Let's say, can you move all the duplicates in a folder? Hold duplicates. No. So this is how you can clean your downloads folder if you're see this function I never run, and that's why it asks, and you can say allow always because you're too lazy. And he's thinking, and we're going to search after he finishes. This sharing thing is kind of annoying where it's placed. Okay.
So the config is in the on data or in the down?
No, the config is, wait a second, in Claude. My path to it is C users leave app data roaming Claude.
I think it opens a Claude folder
Yes.
When you ask it to edit MCP configuration. So just enable development mode.
And then I copied it here.
Yeah. But
For cursor, you need. Should I show how it's in cursor? Olivia, maybe you can show how to configure it in cursor.
in Cursor, well, it should be theoretically similar, actually. I haven't tried the
Do
file
you have it
system.
on Windows or I will show from Linux?
Well, I think you can show for... so it's better. Let's see. I'm curious. They say he moved it. I'm going to check,
So
actually.
should I show how to configure it in Linux?
Yes.
Okay. Or Igen team is actually dealing with genetic constructs. And maybe you can say a few words what plasmids are and why you need Igen. Do you know?
Why we need that? Okay, so as I said in the beginning,
You have microphone enabled. They hear you, right? Because we will have recording. It's enabled.
yes.
Yes.
So as I said in the beginning, first of all, we're gonna have to use the CRISPase, but the most important thing that we need the gene marker for is the RNA logic gates, so we can create the toehold switches that are determined, that will activate based on the biological markers. And we need this to know exactly what sequences will activate.
And the thing is that most of plasmids, you can just buy them on Engine, so you don't have to spend money on synthesis. And what we will do now is actually search for Alzheimer-related plasmid in Engine. So on WhatsApp group, I gave a link. Maybe you can open the repository so say we'll see what's happening. So first open Engine so they know what Engine is. No, just here is MCP, but Engine maybe in another tab. Open the Engine.
Is it in the
Just
group?
regular Engine. I don't know, like some I mean, you have wonderful keyboard. So most of the people they use like this place to actually get plasmids. And I don't know how people lived before Engine because it just has so many useful stuff. And as an IGM team, you probably need to search what is interesting. And we will actually do it with, so we will use Engine MCP. And what you have to do, actually, it's the MCP that made me not sleep at night because they don't have API and I have to write Python. So the cats are leaving us?
Yes.
Will you show, when you have time, will you show them your lab? Because
The lab is very close. So it's here. So
Thank you for coming.
yeah, you have his contacts. And yeah, so because we had Cats Longevity rushing to raise another funding round. So the idea is that you can actually do a search and download. And I had to run a whole web scraper because they don't have an API. And you have to actually copy the configuration. I think you already have MCP server, so you copy this one. Oh, does it actually copy? And several things that I want to explain. Can I explain? So you see this JSON, what does it mean? It means that we use stdio. It means we will use the command so UVX, it can install Python package and then run it. So you just need it to UV to be installed, and it will do downloading and running for you. And we will copy it to Anthropic Desktop. So Dino, please. Make sure you didn't mess up JSON because I can be with, yeah, put a, you forgot comma. No, you did well, but you had to forgot before here. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have to go to Claude and
Restart.
maybe it will work out of the box. Get to Claude and see actually if you need to restart it.
Yeah,
Maybe you need to restart. Do you check tools? Something broke. Can you? Do you have developer mode?
Yeah.
Okay. Gene running and command advanced options. Does it list the tools? Can go file system.
No.
It's running. So maybe we can, maybe it can work. So let's see if we can. I don't know why it doesn't actually show the tools. The thing is,
Maybe restart it.
I don't know. Let's see, because but we will do it in Cursor if there are issues. Which Python do you have, by the way?
3.14.
Okay, we have issues that it actually disconnected. I think it can be that it used Python 3.12. And if you have, so maybe I will show it from my computer because it works on my machine.
Okay.
And we will troubleshoot, or did you manage to make it work yourself?
I didn't give it any comment.
3.15.
Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works.
Okay.
Am făcut treaba. Trebuie să știi. Și dacă facem asta, facem chiar avem șanse să miști. Как язык? Hai, nu știu.
Let's see.
Eu mă ocup de poate de știință, de tehnologie.
De social media.
Okay, so you
eu
can
mă
check.
ocup de
We have one person who can manage
actual
to
work,
make it
să
work.
fac chestia.
Can you also make larger fonts because people and share your screen, share your microphone, and yeah, so we have one person who managed to make it work. He will explain what is happening. And while Dino is debugging.
It's really
Actually, just how I configure it. I think it's TDI or it's not important.
So I explain what I say.
Do you have UV installed? Can you, because the thing is, don't install it started separately, because it should be started by a Claude. Yeah, it should be by Claude or Cursor. Can you go with a Cursor or Windsurf? Can you set it up there, because he managed to make. Actually, can you like put on microphone and just talk there and explain how you managed to make it work?
So I went to the repo and I made it locally. You can also run it in the cloud, but I like to run it locally. And what I did was I can do it now. So you just cloning and you go UV sync, and after UV sync, you go UV run server, and that's all you need to do. Check the port, it's exactly one, and then you can need to verify that the port setup in the MCP connects to the.
So he did it another way, but it's also actually should also work.
Yeah, and then I just
Show some, Dino, do you see what he's doing?
Yeah.
So ask him, let's search for what you're interested in. So say
Search,
which plasmids to search, and then we ask it to download. So see, like we search for Alzheimer plasmids.
Okay. Alzheimer plasmids.
Yeah, you see what is his chat. So I think he already got them. You can actually ask it to like search for something else or to download the plasmids that you like. So which one you want to download?
so search for Alzheimer's plasmids and demo.
He will see the results, and then we will download
We see
it
which-
to download folder one of the plasmids that he likes. And then we will get another MCP to upload it to backend.
Let's.
Has issues?
I mean, I did exactly what you said, close it, blah, 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 you run a server, it's there, it's running there.
Can I see what cursor is same.
You haven't
Because
Numbers of which I haven't read. But the
uh,
same.
I don't know, open any project, just
Okay, so
So we have 50 plasmids. So we
Cool.
which plasmid do we download?
Let's wait for them to load
Okay, let's try.
because we need to see which one is useful.
Yeah, but can you just go to your UI of cursor? It's white. Origin. You are not on the dark side menu.
these are partially.
So you have browser MCP, but that's actually, let's get UVX config here. Maybe it will work. Can you copy the file in this UVX?
on it. This.
I would go UVX, yeah.
Nu mă vezi?
Engine MCP, yeah. Let's see. Tool enabled. Okay, then ask in the chat. Find I don't know, some type of plasmids, Alzheimer, and maybe in some any type. Do you need bacterial or mammalian? I don't know. Find
It works
CRISPR, methylation CRISPR plasmids for bacterial expression, something like this.
It worked here too. I used cursor and it worked.
So plot desktop is a buggy piece of something. That's Cursor actually did it. Yeah. It's actually, yeah, guys, be careful with plot because it's super buggy. It's those who created MCPs, they have the most buggy implementation. Yeah.
This works.
Because where is cursor? Where is the let me see. Can you get them back? Can you run it in bash or something? Go to bash. And CD or you have bash knowledge because it's probably.
Well, actually, it's more like which one is more efficient for you to use. If you're doing just like simple maintenance, I think desktop is actually better because you don't have to work with everything. If you're doing debugging or more complicated, what you have to keep in mind.
Can you troubleshoot on it to see why you because usually maybe you can install it. Just ask Gemini or ChatGPT what does it mean, copy paste this, ask what to do.
Here. It says 11 tools, so it's okay.
So did we manage to actually download the message? Can you check that it's downloaded to actually?
Have to like that's how it works.
People, does it work? Does it download the plasmid?
It's very slow. Right now.
It's internet everywhere.
Yeah. Like I did this 1 minute ago and it's still generating.
Let's see. Okay.
Biothings. Okay.
So only now it started.
Well, I mean, sometimes can be internet, can also, I was debugging it at night, maybe that's the thing. But now you actually, you can actually download the plasmids and select which you want to download, and it will appear on your drive actually. And then you can actually put a bench-link MCP to upload it to bench-link. Actually, bench-link has direct import. You can actually copy ID of agent.
Really?
Yeah, has direct agent import.
Okay. So this is tau and mammalian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody got, every laptop-based guys with exception of bad charts, right? They had like something working or not. Okay.
You can copy the sequence directly into the.
I was like, what?
Yeah, but the thing is that it can actually resolve the sequence programmatically and
Okay.
yeah. And actually with Cursor, it's in the chat, you can generate some code so you can mix resolving with MCP, and then you can say generate the code that will visualize these plasmids, and it will generate some biotick or biopython code.
Okay.
The thing is, when I tried it on my Linux, so I have dual boot, I just downloaded the file and it had an image and I just ran it. I mean, it doesn't really run it after you allow it to be executable, obviously. So I don't know exactly.
Oh, okay, guys, are we continuing? Livia, maybe I can go a bit of theory and then you show how to brag about that we did Hello World with social media.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let me switch. Those who present, can you unpresent? Okay, guys. So we had a big advance that we managed to make. At least most of laptop guys here managed to make MCP for files and MCP for plasmid downloads working. That means that your AI agent, it can search for agent for you, and if you integrate with other ideas. So let's coming back to the MCP topic, and I hope, yeah. So as you see that actually the interesting part is that for MCP, we kind of did our first experience several months ago, and it was so new that no models by the time even Claude didn't know what MCP is, and also Google. And we have a team member from Montenegro, and Montenegrin Orthodox Church, it has MCP acronym. And that's actually what led to the idea that we should call what we do Holy MCP. Yeah, so you see that, I mean, with exception of some annoying bugs, you have different tools that you can enable, and you can combine them, like you downloaded your searched agent plasmids, then you actually can use your file system MCP to organize files. Later, we will add bench-link so it can download, upload, and do stuff with bench-link as well. And yeah, so here, like before MCP, we had to write functions like you saw with the weather function for pretty much everything. Now you just have to put configuration and pray that it would not crash. That's what you see. The before that, every apps, they had custom file, custom functions, custom tool calls, and with MCP you just make them work. And there is like a whole ecosystem. So that is there is this MCP protocol websites, and also there is this MCP smithery. That means that if you want, like, oh, I want to automate something, maybe I need like to automate and brag about what we did to Facebook, saying we did Hello World with MCP. And in ideal world, you just find an so you see that for Facebook, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MCP servers actually available. Ideally, you just configure them, get your credentials, and it works. In reality, unfortunately, 2/3 of those MCP servers are very low quality. So some student who didn't know even that you don't have to put requirements TXT if you're using UV, and some other stupid mistakes. And that's why actually I give a word to Olivia that will explain how with MCP you can brag about doing Hello World with MCP with her case Facebook.
Yes. So
Share the screen, please.
Anton, if you're there, you could share, please, the library, actually. I will share the screen in the meanwhile.
And microphone.
Microphone, I have it on. Present now.
You can also show video so you'll see your wonderful face.
Okay, wait a second. I'm doing stuff here and I have to move. Yes. So for social media, we have to take into account it's kind of a hassle if you have to post constantly, like to literally go there every day and write the posts. That's why it would be nice to automate stuff. So for this, we had this Facebook MCP I told you about. Before you start trying to run it out of the box, you have to know something about social media and, well, third-party access, like Facebook, Google, Twitter, or whatever, is that they require some authorization keys, which are kind of hell to get, honestly, more than the MCPs. The MCPs, the code, is solved actually by just literally downloading and installing from pip. PyPy, sorry. PyPy, Facebook, MCP. I'm a bit lazy, so I can probably use Facebook MCP server. I think, yes, it's the last one. It's basically this one, which is, wait. Maintainers? No, it's not mine, sorry.
Yours is just.
Yes, you're right, Anton. Sorry. Just Facebook. As you can see, PyPy can be a bit confusing. I actually took a GitHub repo which looked more stable, and I credited it, but I published it because it was a hassle to have to install every dependency and run it. So what you have to do to run it, first of all, is to pip install the Facebook MCP. Then you would have to fill in, wait a second to get to Claude. Obviously, in the config, it works both for Claude and for Cursor, whichever you prefer. It's if we go to the JSON, we will add another open. We will add another basic code in it. That is, you put a comma after the file system, and you fill it in with just Facebook MCP command, arguments, and this part. And the environment part here is where we'll have to talk about it. You have this Facebook access token and Facebook page ID. This I'm not really, well, I can't really share because it's kind of for my page and my access token, and it won't help you because I assume you want to post to your own page, not to mine. I'll show you for how it works and then how we can get it working for others. After you have this posted, Claude, come back. We'll go to Claude, and I'll move this presentation part here, and we'll see. Search and tools, I'll have to have it enabled. You can see they have kind of a lot of tools. Get number of comments, numbers of likes, post insights, post, reply to comments, and stuff like that, which is, let's say, basically. And I'll activate this one and deactivate the file system. If you're asking why am I doing this stuff, is because Claude and mostly even Cursor are kind of fussy about number of tools. If you go above 40, it crashes. At least in Claude's case, it literally crashes. In Cursor, it will just give you a nice warning. You know, we have above 40 tools. It might not be the best idea. It can get confused and so forth. Okay, so now we have to see what are the latest posts on Facebook that I made. Anyway, I mistyped stuff, but so it knows to access the function as we've seen before, and it gives you posts via this. You might ask, what the heck is he searching, and why is it like the post about stones and stuff like that? Well, this is kind of a small commercial. I also do parametric jewelry, and when I try to research what Facebook credentials want from me, I kind of find out you can't do it for your personal page. So if you have like a Facebook account You can't do it. You can do it for your Facebook page. So you have organization, nonprofit, whatever. It doesn't really matter what kind of page, then you can do it. So I had one page and I used it. This is the one page I use it. And if it will work, okay. Posts, see all. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't go to posts. I go to photos. Sorry. Yes, so. And I also use Business Insider. So I post both to Instagram and to Facebook. So that's why you have reels and stuff like that. You can see that I have posts with images, but they took it just, let's search Claude desktop a bit. Post about the natural versus with a video. So it actually reads both posts which are not only text, because you'd see, and this travel edition Berlin, it's actually there. And posts that are just text, because this one was when I made the Facebook MCP work. Okay, so let's see. Let's try another post. Do another post. That sex. Yeah. Finally having the workshop presented. Okay. Let's. And he thinks, allow. It asked me this because the first post I did was actually using Cursor. Most of you asked me if Claude or Cursor is better. When I had to use it to debug and write stuff, well, obviously it was easier to do it in Cursor than in Claude. And let's see, reload, because we had their big finally posting about MCP. We have the post here. You can actually schedule your post, and what I want to search about it is I want to upload also images, because obviously social media, you have to put images or videos. The original GitHub repo I used didn't have that, and honestly in 2 days I didn't have time to research that. But now we've seen how this part works. If you're wondering, and how the heck do I get my wonderful credentials? Because it's a pain in the ass, honestly. Well, you can go to the original repo page. I mean, where I pushed it from repositories. This sharing part is kind of annoying. It's just Facebook MCP. And look in the README, because I know I would forget, and certainly people who have no idea would forget. And you have the features, what happens, setup and installations. All these are, like I said, if you want to run it locally. As you've seen, we just installed the library and ran it. And this is the type. And here is how to get your wonderful Facebook credentials. You have to create an account. Yeah, a Facebook developer account. And follows basically these steps. Because otherwise you would have a kind of issues. I'm kind of not wanting, I don't know if I should go there, because you kind of have like APIs and other keys. And besides, in my case, some steps are like one time only, like what kind of app you want to create and stuff like that. And it's kind of, well, trickier, yes, to do it. But let's see, actually. Facebook for the, I think I actually put the link. Didn't I put the link? No, but I can search where it was. I should have put it. Facebook developers. Developers Facebook. I have it here, actually. So developers.facebook. Let's see. Okay, let's remove the Tools Explorer because we don't care about that. And let's go like directly. Yeah, developers Facebook, it leads you to this wonderful page with some stuff. And you'll have in the right corner where I have here my apps, something like sign in or create an account or something like this. And you can make an account with your Facebook credentials. After you'll have the account, you'll have access to this my apps stuff. And I have the wonderful first app because lack of inspiration. Take account that apparently when you create these credentials, you're not allowed to use proprietary names. Like you can't say first Facebook app or first Google app. They don't let you save it like that. So do whatever name you want, does not matter. It will ask you to create the app and it will have some steps to fill in. And when you have the app inside of it, you'll have this wonderful dashboard and stuff like this. Okay, let's close down. Yes. In this dashboard, you'll have, it's kind of important, customize the manage everything on our page use case. Basically, what things you can do with your API. Every time you're granting API access, in general case, as I've seen, you first have a project, then or an environment where you create an app. And inside that app, you create the APIs, which are the keys that allow you access to do stuff. The access you allow to that key is important because, for example, a previous error I encountered was like, just create an API key. I need an API key. I don't know. That's what the repo says. I need an API key. And I did the most basic one, which was only read access. And it read it. Then it had an issue. I can't post. I was like, why can't you post? Oh, you're missing like access. Why am I missing access? Okay, let's see here on the customize and manage everything. Maybe it will show you app dashboard. Yeah. So you'll have some fields to fill. And actually, see, these are what you can edit, permission and features. And what you have to take in account is the difference that Facebook makes. So for example, like I said, I haven't seen how you can do the Facebook for your profile. You can do it for a page. A page does not imply a business because when I did first for my page, like you've seen, it's parametric design, you can consider it a business. And I said, okay, it's a business, I have to register. But then they ask you for very weird questions regarding your declaration, your paperwork that your business is registered. They want to have the business verification. But having a page does not mean you have a business. So they're different fields. And this might happen also in your case if you have, for example, organization. You just have a page, you don't go declare you have an organization because that would get you into trouble. Like, or
for the
settings.
agency, where do you have, like, do you have Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, which media? No, but for
Slack,
promotion.
Instagram.
Only Instagram. Actually, it's the same for Instagram. You have to, if you want to.
I didn't try Instagram,
So the
but
idea is
should be
like
the same.
those social media that you can get several MCP servers, one for LinkedIn, one for Facebook, one for like Twitter. And then you can just oh, please write me a post and post it everywhere. So you can do things like this to save time on promotion. And you can also like get analytics like how many likes I got, who commented. Also, you can, if you connected email, you can say, for example, please summarize all the emails that I need to like respond. If you like your promotion team, if they have to like communicate a lot, this thing, if you manage to configure it, it can save you a lot of time, but you kind of see that my bigger headache is not technology, it's all those API keys that poor Lydia is explaining.
Yes, I mean, they're horror. And I mean, the most horror of them all it's Twitter. I first said, let's try something simple, something just with text. Let's try Twitter. That was what I was innocently thinking. Twitter has 3 different APIs with 3 different secrets API for each of them. And I still haven't managed to properly configure them because probably you have to allow somewhere access. And in some cases, it actually asks you for three-way authorization. Like 2-way is not sufficient, now we want 3-way, I mean. And it's kind of confusing which exactly key you're needing and the order you're doing it. Because, for example, in this case, let me see if I still have it. It was how to create, the API for the page. You first had to get an API for the user. Then, though you never use that API, in their Graph Explorers, I remember that was Tools Graph API Explorer. This is the funny part. Yeah, let me see how I can move this. So you have an API key, which is for user token. You just generate it, or it's generated when you enter. Then you have to select these permissions, which you see there, like, well, pretty a lot. I stupidly selected everything because I said I'm not going to go through everything. But these permissions are allowed if in the previous page I've been to, you select all the use cases. Otherwise, you can't select it. After you did that, you go from user token to page access token, and they generate another access token which you use. So you use that. Then you have to check your ID page on the page, and only after that you can you can have it. So this one is kind of actually simple compared to the others. It's like you just have to know that first you have a useless user token, and then you generate your page token from which you can select. So that's why I said the trouble is not necessarily with the MCPs. Well, they might be when you try to do like more like important stuff, more like evolved stuff, like I said, images, scheduling, and stuff like that. But and in theory, though I don't know how it works, since this is an API from Meta, it should work also in Instagram, I think. But I'm not entirely sure because I'm using Business Insider. Don't ask why, because it was the only way to synchronize Instagram and Facebook. And in Business Insider, I can actually check my I wanted to see if I can show it here. I can check my Instagram account. And the problem is I don't get why I can't use the same API for Facebook also for Instagram use. Because obviously it will save me time. The ideal thing would be like, I won a prize, post to all my social media, to Facebook and Instagram, this wonderful picture of me winning a prize or whatever. And I wouldn't have to log in, spend like 15, 20 minutes to write it. And you could do it like constantly, not to have to pay like expensive services to promoters, which like charge you several €100 per consultation fee, or if you're lucky. So that's kind of what we are trying to solve it. And this is kind of how it worked with the Facebook social media. Anton, do I present Google now?
I think
or
maybe
not?
we should alternate. So
Okay.
I do biology stuff, you do general stuff.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you tried browser MCP?
Browser MCPs?
So the browser use.
I tried Playwright. It's kind of similar. It sometimes has issues recognizing what it sees as a browser, for example. So yeah, it's kind of a limited use, but it's an interesting idea. I think people will.
Once they're logged in, it's like, normal Chrome session or whatever, right? It's just as if you were clicking the buttons. You have the limit, anything. It's like you looking on things, but it's doing the control.
Well, I haven't actually tried that. We went like directly, we're more like well, not exactly hard-coded fans, but yes, you have it internally. I struggled once. Just let me type and hopefully it will solve everything. I mean, automation on social media was at least a horror story. Yeah, honestly, a horror story for us, which are more developers or doing stuff. Because besides the time of actually programming or actually doing the stuff, you have to stop. Okay, let me take a picture. Look how nice it is. Okay, let me post it. Because even if it's nice, nobody is going to hear about it if you don't post at least on 3 social networks. And theoretically share for. So that's why we kind of tried to automatize as yes, something in the mid tab. Anton, something happened with the session.
So what's happening?
I don't know. Google informed me something in the mid tab requires my attention. Okay,
Anyway,
never mind.
the thing is, yeah, meanwhile, I am preparing actually a next task. So we will deal with the polybiology.
Okay.
And we will try some of the, so I give like a JSON. It's better to Clone because Clone Desktop will like kill itself because we have so many tools. And I will share, so I will try to share it now.
And are you sharing? Okay.
Yeah, guys.
You're sharing here.
Okay, guys. So now we are getting to the more exciting stuff. So how we can get some interesting targets. I think actually that's the weakest part of your team is that both tau and amyloid hypotheses were mostly debunked and failed in clinical trials. And I think if you like, maybe if you knew it in the very beginning, maybe you would consider a bit different targets. So we will see. So now actually there are like some hypotheses about blood-brain barrier leakage, about other things, but still nobody knows why exactly Alzheimer is happening. Many researchers consider that there are several causes. It's just same symptoms that we classify as Alzheimer, but in some cases, for example, even like activation of herpes virus can cause Alzheimer, for example. In some cases, it can also be like if leakage of blood-brain barrier, you can get nasty bacteria also producing, because amyloid is a protection mechanism like that happens. So unfortunately, we still don't know, but I want to show you like some of the ways how you can do exploration. So to the WhatsApp group, I copied, I think it's a JSON that I tested. It should work on Cursor. And you don't have to git clone anything. At least for me, it works out of the box. And a few words about all this STD-IO and other things. So there are several modes in which your MCP servers might work. So here is, I believe, so the thing is, you typically, your Cursor, your Entropic, the terminology is that you have its MCP client. That means that it can interact with LLM and with MCP server. And MCP servers, well, that's what you installed. And here is like communication lifecycle that they kind of exchange messages and requests, and MCP server, it just says, here are the tools that they can do. And if you say, I want to use these tools, the server does the calling. STD-IO is like from your console. So it's not like HTTP-based server. Advantage of STD-IO, if you need to write files and do like stuff on your local system, it's actually beneficial because if you want to change some files, if you do like HTTP connection, you have to download them, so it's kind of a headache. There are also two other options. So regular HTTPS that they already deprecated in like the technology exists. I think end of November they made the first MCP release, and they managed to deprecate already a big part of what they did. And now the way have that you can use it from some remote server is streamable HTTP. For most of our MCPs, because there were some bugs in Claude and Cursor. Cursor, I think it's fixed it, but STD is the most reliable. We have some servers like BioThings actually even deployed somewhere, like BioThings MCP, so you can use it streamable HTTP, but for the state of workshop, we use STD.io mostly. Yeah, so this is like kind of details. And the idea, so you used it in MCP like AI-aided software like Cursor. If you want, for example, the way how people do it, they first use Cursor like things to get some reasonable workflows. For example, I want to have a comprehensive search for nice targets about the drug. You start with the drug, or maybe you start with a gene, or you start with a disease, and you have prompts and steps. You play with it, you see, oh, this makes sense, and that maybe I can just automate it, so it will be one AI agent that do it. So you wrap it in AI agents that do all the workflow, and it can interact with other agents. And for this, you need, so you have like one agent, second, third. And for this, you need agent-to-agent protocol. So several agents, one can, for example, research agent, another one programming agent, another one promotional agent. They can interact. We will not cover it in a workshop, but it's more like for you to get the general pictures. So a little bit about what we have. So I gave a link to actually Holy Bio MCP. Yeah.
Each agent has its own rules, or do they all share?
It depends how you configure. Ideally, they are independent of each other. They can even be on different machines. Like you can have one agent on your laptop and another on the cloud, and it's how you configure. It's not yet as standardized as MCP. But the thing is, for like the stuff that we included in the hackathon, we had like several. So we made MCP wrappings for several major databases. So first one is so OpenGenes is a database about longevity interventions and longevity genetics. So there you can see what extends lifespan and why, or what shortens it. However, if you use like a combination, because the most like when people come to life extension, or not even life extension, like you want to solve, say, some like Alzheimer. Okay, let's take 5 different drugs that somehow help and eat all of them. That's like the approach that many people have. But the funny part is that we have this, and if you are lucky, it's synergistic. So you get a better curing, but it's like maybe 1%. The reality is that you have antagonistic or dependent effects that they start to interfere each other, and it's better just to take the best out of this 5, and that's it, because they will just fight with each other. And there are databases about this interaction, so you can actually see. So this is like actually done by Gabriela Buno, Robi Takuto, and Mitya Toren. You met them, and you can actually see like pairs of genes, and you can see how this is example with C. elegans, like how wild type lives. So this guys actually shorten it, and how like one or combination of several. So this is the second database. Then we also have bioinformatics, so a library that resolves a lot of stuff from UniProt, Ensemble, and other services called GET. So if you want to download some sequences, because you have idea, okay, I found this nice gene, and I found maybe there is a RNA silencer for this gene, I want to see the sequence. And it has to go and download the stuff. So you use bioinformatic libraries like GET, unless you want to open UniProt, open Ensemble, type there, find it, and download it. Then we also have BioThings API, the one that just has a lot of stuff about, they kind of brag. So they have about gene variants, about chemicals, about diseases and genes. They just cumulative information. And there is also pharmacy guides that can suggest some druggable targets. So let's like get let's get back to cursor and let's configure stuff. I'm just creating like a random chat. So preferences, cursor settings. Maybe I can make it larger. And in cursor settings, you have these tools and integrations. And I copy pasted like JSON that you have to copy. But actually here what I have, and for some reason, pharmacology MCP crashed.
I think it might be a port issue.
Maybe, it's kind of,
I think someone uses the same port.
okay, maybe I can do like this.
I think.
Okay, I'll just change the port and we'll see if actually, let's see if, no. The thing is that it's still like, I already have 45. So maybe it's not that of a problem because, actually I use 3, yeah, let it be like this. Maybe it will not clash. And, oh no, I don't know what's with pharmacology, but I have at least some of the databases working. And let me get to a chat. For example, yeah, I have just some examples of the prompts that you can play with. I just gave an idea. Well, actually, Newton Winter did the suggestions. Yeah. So let's see, for example, let's see druggable Alzheimer targets, and also let's look more focus on what we know on longevity. And I actually want to write it to a file. So I am lazy to read it from chat. And let's see what's actually is happening. I am a bit worried that pharmacology, because actually for pharmacology, maybe I should configure it differently, like an HTTP way. I don't know. But actually see, so it called first when you deal with the database, usually you want, it's easier just to teach it the structure and meanings of major tables. And the first, it wants like have a method that gets the schema, so it knows how to search, what to search. And then it can just generate SQL queries and just be really flexible on getting stuff done. So we have actually, it calls a lot on longevity databases. Typically, you kind of see it like here in the output. And let's see. It's so it got some results, I assume. Yeah. Or that, so it's pretty complex question it asked. I'm still worrying about pharmacy stuff. Okay.
It failed also for me. I mean, it's not
I don't know why it's kind of,
the pharmacy stuff.
yeah, that's a bit annoying. So it kind of tries, I think, to find everything. That's my like feeling. And okay, it's kind of, I think it started like, oh, it got something. And let's see what it will summarize. So we have the stuff actually Newton, but he had the pharmacy stuff working. So I assume I have a mistake in configuration. So where it was,
Something locally and forgot to push.
yeah. So we have this like repositories that he actually gave, like I just give like examples of answers and prompts that he gave. But let's see, it's kind of thinking a lot. And it got like forget, you see it got a lot of ensemble IDs and other stuff. So if you want, you can actually get the sequences and work bioinformatically. But I think it's getting into some loop because maybe the thing is that also which model are you, Gemini or Claude now?
Actually, I left with the currently on auto.
That's funny. In my case, maybe it may. Actually, let's go to Livia to see what it produced. And the thing is that sometimes you have to like play a bit because it's not always deterministic. It's that in our case, actually, most of the MCP servers, it was like from half a day to 2 days of work per server. So it's if you kind of learn how to do things quickly, and you actually the major part that you have to do, you have to think a lot about for each tool, you have to think a lot about instructions, how to use it, where not to use it, what it depends on, and to actually make tests. Like queries, natural queries that should lead to some tool calls. So you know that it interprets things properly, but because I think for me, maybe I will just replace chat and try to go with, maybe I can use another prompt.
Because it has previous input.
Maybe I can go Gemini Pro. Okay. Can you suggest some targets for Alzheimer's? Let's go simple because it was a complex prompt.
So it gave me some genes. I have no idea if these are related to Alzheimer's or not. This is increasing lifespan, improving cognitive nervous system function. I mean, it's it's wonderful, but I'm not.
Did you give specific genes or drugs?
Don't you look at the screen?
No, I'm just reproducing it with Gemini.
Yes. Papa sees.
Because for Gemini, actually, it looks. Actually, for me, it's PSEN1, PSEN2, APOE, APP, and now it's trying to do BioThings API to get like more info on well, regular like this APOE gene, and it actually gets open targets. So this is like a database of potential targets. So I started like simple, like can you suggest targets for Alzheimer? And what it did, it got text ID, this is human, this is Alzheimer, and that's made a biothings query 1, then biothings query 2 with more details because it got some results. So results
Should
are
I
like
let you
here.
have the screen?
Actually, my screen actually, and for open targets, it kind of found some stuff, and let it. No, I just want to see if you see. Actually, it's kind of queries here. Actually, the queries are successful. You see that they're successful, but it queries a lot, and I assume that if you want to investigate something deeply, you would probably want to run it for 10 minutes and have also some mechanism to also make sure that things don't crash or that it doesn't get loops, because some of the problems that you sometimes have is that it just loops the same. So we even had in prompts to write, don't use the same function with the same parameters more than twice in a head, unless it crashed.
But LLMs are not meant for example, if it's a wide code, you can just write and hope that it will do. For some unknown reason of the universe, it kind of does stupid practices of its own. When I was trying to find out how to publish a package, it kept insisting with UV pick build. And I was like, okay, if I have UV, why do you still want pick? Oh, you're right, it's my problem. But he replied the same thing 3 times in a row. And each time I told him, it's not with pick, choose one.
I think it just needs more instructions how to properly Actually, it gets results. So I don't know why it got, maybe it was some bug of cursor, because it actually did get results, but it complained, it made mistakes in the way it searches. And okay, let's see. I'm just getting curious if
Actually, I think because of the LLM, they're getting to the next level of debugging, intuitively debugging, because if it's writing code running, then it fails. And it says, I don't know why it fails, so it made like a stupid syntax error or bad association. You sometimes have to literally go check the code before it runs, so it doesn't do the.
so actually it's kind of already, but I have a success. It actually switched to amyloid precursor protein somehow. And it even got some proteins, surprisingly. And let's see. It's still generating. What is it generating?
Why is it? What does it? Why not keep on generating so long?
Because it kind of gets, for each gene, it gets like multiple queries, because he may, usually first time he makes a, we have to like get instructions better. But what did you get? Maybe we can switch to what you got.
No, I'm not switching back because I switched it once. I only got with non-serious model. I got a table of like possible candidates of genes. Didn't get into details. It just gave you this gene often found for this like family trees and has like the generation of.
Let's actually says let's stop it and just say summarize it as because it's kind of again to.
You didn't ask it to write a paper on it, no.
Actually, I can ask to write a paper. So it actually summarizing because it found something.
Well, it's not necessarily the results that they'll get is.
Well, it actually found a bunch of stuff. So it kind of couldn't had issues with AP, and it's actually created a markdown file that I can properly read somewhere. But where did, here. So I have a nice markdown. Let's see. OMG, I maybe have to go to proper size because I don't know those large. Yeah. I think I put too many. Yeah, I think I have to. I have to do like this. So summary of Alzheimer's disease gene target identification. So it found some ensemble IDs, and they found so they found some targets, but maybe okay. I don't want to promote, and can you check connection of those genes with longevity? Let's see if it will get with longevity. So, but the example that Newton got, it was like he made a bunch of prompts here. He managed to resolve like sequences of all the genes of different species and compare. And he, for example, for druggable targets, he has this type of report. So this was, I want to explore druggable Alzheimer targets. Let's start from longevity perspective. And it kind of suggested somehow, so it looked probably on what extended lifespan to mice, because it's kind of interesting choice. It was SIRT1, TERT, HPS1.
I mean, for part of those myself, I think it depends on the model. I was going to say maybe in this kind of prompts, we should actually add the default stuff like tell us what model you've used and what time, because it's highly dependent on prompt.
So, but it actually for him it was really probably he go with like to give like all the information, because he copy pasted like all the logic that led to results, and then he asked to explore pathology, and like you get like you can have like a really deep dialogue unless it kind of gets stuck like I was. Because in my case, but maybe Claude 4 would do somewhat. But you guys can try yourself some questions, not necessarily those that I ask, and see if it stucks for you. And yeah, that's like an unfortunate. Also, when you see like a lot of the scientists, in the paper AI scientists, we managed to reproduce like some research and make a paper out of it. Don't think they did it in one try. It was probably like 100 tries with different parameters, and they publish, cherry pick the best one, and they brag that they have super powerful AI scientist agent. That's like 95% of AI papers on we saved the world with AI agents are, honestly. But okay, actually it's kind of thinking when I ask about longevity. Okay, while like it's kind of thinking, maybe I can just show how a typical server looks like. I don't know. Maybe I can just use a simple one. But while actually, I think they had some progress with Alzheimer investigation. Oh, where was it? It's like. Ooh. I think Claude actually is better when you do MCP stuff, to be honest. What did you do? What did you got, Livia?
Oh, I mean, I tried that first question.
For me, actually, I think there is a bug in cursor, so cursor died.
I think don't do many servers.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but a typical actually server, if you look into it, it like has very simple anatomy. So like if, for example, I go the OpenGenes one, so let me close everything because it's kind of annoying. Close all and this. So a typical server when it also wants to connect Slack MCP for some reason. Yeah. So typically you just make this. Most of them it's easier just to make a UVF, and you get like dependencies. You have to set up the run script. So if you install it like with UVX, it should be executed same as package name by default. So by default, it uses stdio. You set up like that it publishes and also dependency groups. And typically, usually if you go like them all, the function is like server. Okay, server pi, if you look into it, it's just like you have different functions that you register as a tool. And some of the tools, because LLM, it needs to understand, it actually, you have to generate, usually AI generated a lot of examples. And major pain is that because it's not, for example, in your database, you have a field lifespan change, and AI doesn't know what is acceptable. So often it's better to have whole enumeration. So you can do, so it will not ask like, okay, let's make a search on lifespan improvement if in database you only have lifespan change as a enumeration field. So that's kind of and you see like most of the like examples. So you have to provide examples. You have to explain how things work. And actually, the code is often smaller than the descriptions. So like for tool descriptions, you actually give a lot, and it's kind of a general pattern of, and also I also give like examples. It's called few shot learning, when I give examples of the most input, output, and tool use, so it will know how to use stuff. So most of the code is actually explaining LLMs what to do, and then you, in tests, you actually, the most important part is actually testing. So there are like regular like tests that like functions work. So you just try to generate it, and the main is like if you have queries, like for example, here actually we can try to reproduce it. What genes need to be downregulated in worms to extend their lifespan? So in such cases, because it's kind of LLM, it can use different words. You just have to like, and also order can be different. You have to like control that the meaning is reasonable. You use a methodology called LLM as a judge. That means that here in the test, I have question. I have example of what I expect as the right answer. If it runs some tools or queries, I can also mention example of those tools. And I use LLM judge to actually evaluate if on test, the generated answer is actually close to the reference right answer. And actually now I'm running one of the questions. So actually I ran the first question, what genes need to be downregulated in worms? Maybe I can write results in Markdown. No, maybe not results, in Markdown file. So let's actually write the answer to the question in Markdown format. What I noticed is that Gemini 2.5 Pro is more verbose than actually Claude Sonnet. So Claude Sonnet usually like gives things. So it created actually the file, and in Cursor you can just accept it, so it can generate files and code for you. So here you see that genes extending lifespan in worm, and you can see that actually it queried the database, and it suggested those that if you downregulate them, so you like knock them out or make them less active, you get some interesting increase. Yeah, so that's like as an example. And yeah, so this is like some examples with Holy Bio MCPs. I don't know, Olivia, maybe it makes sense to get to Google and then maybe get the general vision. So you see that things, well, honestly, also like in development, you actually spend more time not setting up an AI agent or a server, but for example, the way how you instruct to use the tools, like you use, for example, it's sometimes use them not in the right way. For example, if you don't instruct it, oh, please use Latin names for database queries for species, it will just search like, please find me human or find me mouse. And in the database is Mus musculus and Homo sapiens. So there are like a lot of nuances like this. I often actually, what I do, I kind of run some of the queries myself. I make tests out of them, and then I ask AI to think as if you are writing an instructions to LLM, and please enumerate all the demands on enumerations, on how it should use it. And also you can have dependencies. So in comments, you can say like, if you want to query database, first analyze its structure so you know which tables exist. So that's how it works. And the way how, for example, I was thinking for the iGEM, so you have like tools that you are using. It's Benchling, it's Edging, it's Slack, it's Google Drive, it's email, and it's WhatsApp, maybe something else.
Even the promotions.
Which one?
The promotions.
Yeah, so if we can prototype maybe like, the thing is that if you can just prototype something that other IGEM teams can use to automate how they work, it can not necessarily have to be covering all the features. It can be like the main like workflow, for example. You first look at targets and see which plasmids exist. So like you saw with Edging, that you can just say, I want to see plasmids on Alzheimer. And then you have another that it can like go download, send it to Google Drive or send it to Benchling. And then it can check emails, and maybe in the emails you had some protocol discussions that you want to be reflected in your Google Drive protocols. So something like this, it's not yet clear because it's like you're limited with time, and main target is to do wet lab, obviously. But if you have those downtimes between wet lab waiting, like some reagents or maybe some you have to wait for supervisors when you have access to corresponding food or corresponding, I don't know, equipment. Then you can do like programming or bioinformatics. For bioinformatics also it can run a lot of alignments, and actually it can simulate gels, so you can, but actually Benchling can also do it. So it's kind of maybe proof of concept and connecting several tools together and showing it that something that you do often, then it makes sense, because in many cases, automation for the sake of automation, it's more a headache. But if there is something that you do a lot of often, yeah, so that's the idea. Olivia, I think you wanted.
I was to ask you, can you automate activation and deactivation of tools? Like, because, for example, it commented like we have too many tools. What if you could have like one tool or something?
There are
and
projects.
of my that MCP, which is not activated, has some tools that might be useful, and to ask your permission to activate.
There are tools like MCP composers that do like this, but yeah, but you have to like, it's still like the issue with AI style. What I was really impressed in a bad way is that you can get a library like LangChain. It's like 30,000 users, and you go there. It's terrible. It's buggy. It's incredibly hard to deal with. And how could it have 30,000 users? Then you find a library that has 30 times less users, and it's much better, but they didn't get 60 million to do a lot of promotion. And same with MCP servers. Most of them, people want to brag, I made an MCP server, but you don't really know if it's good or not. Livia had to modify a lot too.
Yes, but I mean, in our case, we actually have like pseudo like tools, and it would be like easier if it's like some Docker composed of MCPs. I don't know. That with like search, we have this wonderful list of tools. Maybe by the name, I could use that tool. It would let me activate it. And I won't run into this shitty issues, because even if you have an agent to say, I have this horde of MCPs, which tool should I use? You can't have more than 40 and be stable. So that's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are some projects that try to do it. It's also like very alpha quality, so things are crashing, bugging. The most important, what you look if you want to evaluate whether this code is good or not. So, for example, in our case, most of the stuff that we do, if you go like to a Git, I mean, still like most of them, it was like hackathon type of work, but well, so yeah, but as often what I do, I have cursor, I open the workspace, I add several projects, and I say, here is open genes MCP, please mimic its structure for another MCP. And then I add another library, and I say, here is the library, here is open genes MCP, mimic structure of open genes MCP, but generate tools for another like library. But the major thing is, for example, get MCP. So what you typically see is that it should have tests, and there is a continuous integration. It means that every time you push to GitHub, it's automatically runs. And for tests, you can actually forget, for example, if you go to the test, it also runs on different platforms because things often crash on terrible operating system called Windows. And I don't have Windows for like more than a decade, so I cannot test at home, but GitHub has this Windows launcher. And yeah, typical MCP, you see how many tests actually I have. But it's actually, if you, with proper prompt engineering, you can actually quickly generate them. The other thing is that it should have also tests like judging. So judging is that you have a prompt, you are just agents for something. And the judge, it should say where, because you have, like, if you test how, because the major issue is not like the tool works well. The issue is that the agent doesn't know where to use it and for what to use it, or it puts some crazy parameters like you, for example, there is just, I want to search Alzheimer's genes, and LLM says just Alzheimer's genes for a gene symbol. Obviously, it will kind of, if you don't provide proper instructions, it will do crazy stuff like this. And I think it actually, yeah, so you have this kind of question reference answer, and the judge actually evaluates if it like works or not. And yeah, so judge is a good way to test. Then obviously it should be properly packaged. So you do like normal, if Python, it's like UV or poetry, if Node.js. So you make a proper package that you publish, and that has like all the things required. Yeah, so these are like, in our case, we also give like a screenshot of like something that in the chat that it should answer and that we have in tests. Yeah, so these are like the major basic stuff, and still you see that even with all of this, we have some bugs when it starts searching. I don't know. Do you want to see how to automate your Google Drive or not?
Okay. Stop the share screen.
Also on logic APG.
Oh, no, but I showed like for OpenGenes, for example, you can ask what extends. It still needs more testing.
Oh no.
But let's go Google.
Wait a second. I think my Windows froze. No, really, I think my froze.
Amazing.
I mean, I just put presenting and I have to do a very evil stuff, which I don't recommend, but I'll reconnect. I have to do it.
Windows crashed.
But we actually deliberately put Olivia today on Windows to troubleshoot people who have Windows issues.
Yes. I mean,
Usually we use Linux for development. It's so less headache than Windows.
Which one you want to start? Here for the reconnect. The thing with I'm having your microphone still on something.
Yeah, because you don't have it. I don't see. So you use, or should I mute myself up?
No, it's okay. I'm using your microphone. So the thing with Google is that we all want access to everything that Google has: mail, drive, slides, and so forth. And actually, it's easier to get your credentials than it was for others, like Facebook or Twitter. Let me first get URL to rejoin the call. What you have to take into account is that the MCP I'm going to show you works. Well, I haven't figured out how to change the email address. So we'll have an API key and an access. It is for the app that allows you access. So it doesn't matter if it's shared. What it matters is when will be asked what mail to use. That will be the mail it will work well, first of all. And second of all, okay, it is the yes. Yeah. And second of all, you'll have to take into account. We don't want to establish. I just want to join that. Yes. You do the size of the font. Okay, and what you have to take into account is that basically what you start with, let's see a bit here, cursor. You'll have to have the email entered as a tester for the app. That's why I said at a certain point, I'm going to need your email address. I'll first show with my email, because those that I tried. Second, it's Google Console. Where are you?
Google.
Exactly. But I also did a video to show how to add stuff, but Google Cloud, Google Platform Console. What?
I don't see what you're showing. You don't share screen.
Wait. I just rebooted my whole computer because it just crashed. Okay, now I'm sharing back the screen. So, managing resources. You'll have to have this console cloud Google part access, which I think it's part of paid account of Google, because when I tried with my normal free account email, it didn't.
But it's actually not paid. You have to make it deliberately. So it doesn't matter whether it's paid account of Google or not. You make a Google Cloud account and they give like a free $100 in the beginning, but you have to show that you have a credit card. So you just create deliberately Google Cloud account. You can make it free if you are careful, but you have to create it.
So this organization, basically what you get by default, and you have this create project. I created last night, yesterday actually, this Igen project, which we want to enter. Igen. Okay, doesn't, but okay, hide this part. And let's see, manage, create folder. Why aren't you going? Wait a second, I want to see my whole. It's already, that's where you added the project, but here you can see on which one you are selected. Let's see, we make sure we're on this one, and you have to have this dashboard. What you obviously would want is this API and services, because we are trying to get APIs. That's our target things. And when you go here and wait for a bit, you have enabled API and services and library. This is what I was showing last night. In the library part, you're going to see all the things you can do with Google: machine learning, maps, Google Workspace, YouTube. Honestly, what I tried, because this is misleading, see, you have view all 30 for the Google Workspace. All this, I just click them and enable them. See, this is manage and try this API because I already activated them. So we have to have them completely activated. For this project, I activated them last night, but if you do it from scratch, you'd first have to do this. Then you have this wonderful OAuth consent screen. Well, they ask you, after it loads, they ask you if you want to do a new one in case you don't have it. And some questions like, what is this? Is it a web app? Is it a Docker? It's, I think, let's see if it's, yeah, it's clients here where it went. Because it calls clients method, you can access the app. You'll have some options such as Android, OS, desktop app, web app. I chose desktop because this is for applications. And obviously I'm not running on Macs, so, and definitely not on phone. So if you'd want to do access like this from phone, for example, I don't know exactly if you can run MCPs from phone, but anyway, you would probably need to select Android or OS app. And at the client, let's click on it. Besides that, you'll have some keys here, which is not really important because the client ID can't be used. I mean, about this one, I'm relaxed. Can't be used depending on how you set the target to be. For example, my app, because I'm not yet publishing it on Google App Store or something, it's in tester mode. So I can run it like internally, only on persons I give access to. It's not like public, everyone can use that thing and go test my my app. For some unknown reason, I see Anton's. Yeah, sorry. He's researching something else. I forgot it's not connected. Client secrets and so forth. So you have these IDs. This one, they say inactive or are subject to deletion if they are not used for 6 months. So you can create one and forget about it, but if you forget about it more than 6 months, it will not work. Status enabled. And I think you have at audience, they are saying what type of publishing status is it. See, it's testing here, not published. So while in testing, only the testers can use it. You can see auth user cap, but I am not really worried because it's 100. So, I mean, it's enough for me. And to be able to get to access it, you have to be in this wonderful list. You can add users. This one was the email I used previously, and this one was the email I used to test that it works with other emails. Because, yeah, another important stuff to keep in mind, adding users here does not influence your API and credentials. So you can create them, and then you ask, my whole team, please send me the emails, and they're not going to change credentials. They will just be allowed to use the app. A bit lazy to
Oh, so if anybody wants to try, you can also send on WhatsApp chat.
No, it won't. So it won't be a problem. So you know how the app works. We can just try with Dino if you are afraid that something will happen in your. But for example, it won't work on me or on others because after I set it once in Claude or in a Cursor, you would have to reset the whole authentication process to just relog. And you'll have, when you sign into some application, say, when you sign into some application and they say use Google to authenticate, well, that's what it's going to happen. Actually, I also try from Cursor with my previous, because I tried on Linux with my email address. I'll try. I'll show you how it is. First of all, I'll need to open Claude where I pasted the MCP, obviously, because all starts with a wonderful JSON, as always. We go to File, Settings, Developer, Edit Config. See that Google Workspace stuff? That's what I'm going to copy.
I'm just thinking if we can try a setup. Do you also have sequences on Google Drive? Or?
I don't think so. I think we only have papers. I didn't check.
Because I was thinking if, for example, we can get some stuff from BenchLink and then generate a document that summarizes what you have on board and BenchLink in Google Drive, something like this.
Immediate adult. So I'll add the second email. What you have to change here is obviously the path to the secret, and I will also share the secret file, obviously, because I made a folder called Google Secret for Claude, but well, you can just put it anywhere as long as the path is correct. Okay, this is the JSON. Hopefully, WhatsApp will not comment I dump a JSON on him. Be a nice WhatsApp and send the JSON. So the JSON I've sent you now, it basically contains the client ID and the client secret to connect to the app. Okay, now I have to also add this email.
But I think the secret, you have to change the path to it.
Yes, I said they have to change the path to the file. They have a path to where they will save the JSON. That one is supposed to be changed. I mean, okay, let's get a bit back. So the Google Workspace, I have to copy.
I'm actually a regular participant now because I didn't reproduce.
Yes.
So,
That's
so I see client secret. The Google Workspace, is it what? Where?
Google Workspace is the thing MCP. Yes, you will add. Look, I'm doing it in Cursor. So add new MCP server. This is the whole list that Anton gave us earlier, which we'll leave it there. And we're going to copy the, not the bio things, the Google Workspace stuff. So we added it here, Control S. Now I can close this one.
I actually now understand I had misconfiguration of pharmacology MCP.
Wonderful, Anton.
It's kind of just one wrong word. That's why it's kind of could be fixed with one word.
So after you save the JSON in one folder, doesn't matter, you know where it is, you should have the path to fill in the MCP. And you copied the MCP text I gave you into your preferred ID, either Cursor or not. Look, we have Google Workspace enabled here. Like I said, I used Cursor because in Claude I activated with my Glucose DAO mail account, and I haven't yet researched how to change it. Now, let's see. We have it activated, and let's see like that. Give me a list of the last the last 10 sent mails. Let's see what it says. Okay, so what is your Google email address? See, this is why I told you it can't go forward for anyone. So I'm giving it the email I want to log in here. The one I used previously. gmail.com. Enter. It should be the one you used to authenticate in the testing. Okay, I will now search. Then it says calling. I say run tool. Let's see. Click here to authorize Google Gmail access. Remember, I told you it will be similar. So we have to click this thing. Wait a second. I don't actually know why he goes like this, because he has to open a path, the link below. The link. Probably that's why. I should search proper agent. Sorry. Let's do it like this. The link didn't work. Can you view?
So in the Google, no, sorry, in the cloud configuration or in the first one?
You have to put it in the cursor configuration, the MCP, the text I gave you. And the JSON I sent has to be put in some place. You specify the path to. Okay, let's see. I changed models. And he tried with the author
And my
7.
issue is that in cursor I cannot click on the link.
It will be able to be clicked after the repass time. Restarting your cursor application. Okay. What is his issue? Because in the other part, I managed to create. Let me see. We're not.
I think it generates, for me, it generates wrong link.
Yeah, that was the same thing.
I asked the copy pasteable link. Maybe that will, because it kind of messed it up. I asked to give copy pasteable link, and now I'm trying to use it.
Okay, I'll try to refresh actually also the chat. For general information, actually it was
Access block, authorization error. If you are a developer of MCP,
done. You didn't give me your email.
Olivia, anton@gmail.com. I email you all the time. Maybe you just don't read. Read last Anton's
Do you
email.
have any? Do you have any docs?
Uh,
I don't.
I am giving you my email, Livia.
Wonderful.
I mean, it's simple. It's name and surname. It's not like Livia, crazy number like you have.
Okay, Anton. Now you're added. You should try again. Now that you have been added. Okay, I want to redo it. I also read. Yes, choose your account.
Okay, I actually, select all. It's actually working.
I know. I told you it's working.
As there is a certification successful. Anybody reproduced?
Wait a second. I had to use proper model to get the correct link, honestly. I tried with auto agent and
You should just ask generate copy pasteable link. And it will generate it because it tries to make a clickable link and it messes up something. But
actually the clickable link worked twice for me.
Wow.
But that's why I was wondering.
I think actually the Google itself has more than 44 tools, like the Google Workspace.
Yes, it does. Now I have already logged in from Linux. Let's see. I'm curious. Because on Cloud, I have the glucose DAO.
Oh, it works for me.
It doesn't in my case.
It's my revenge for you managing to run Holy by MCP.
But in your case, the other people trying, did it work or did it run into some?
I'm trying to match the.
Okay.
Okay, someone opening.
So you put the correct path. You have it here. You have it there. Then now basically you just have to be sure it's activated in cursor to see it there, shown like in MCP.
Well, does it work for you?
Because that's how it regenerates. Let it think. Let it think. Maybe you should disable those. And
Yeah. Potato.
but it's still that's a bit weird. We did have you here, can't you? So it's green. It takes a while to regenerate. Then you ask it in the chat something about your drive or your mail or whatever. And it should first ask you, okay, give the Google account.
I don't know if I can do this because maybe, I don't.
So
There might be an admin problem.
I have no idea. Honestly, I just used plain simple mail. Let's see.
Maybe use like personal mail if you have like organization.
I didn't see.
Oh, I was like, I was what?
Here.
Yeah, that's important. Anton, if yours works, I can give you the share while I'm debugging stuff around the room.
But what should I do?
Oh, well, you can ask stuff around. Try sorting stuff in your drive because it's. I'm pretty sure it's inherently crazy.
Mm.
Okay, let's see. Try to do. Okay. Now try, because usually after it's completed, it works.
Okay, so should I share or what's the idea?
Share if you.
No.
No, it's not democratic.
Yeah, check this one.
Okay, sorry. You have to go on the whichever.
This is what I'm.
So it doesn't.
I have things working.
I can add it. Just give the email.
Let me do some stupid stuff. So I want to know where is saving the world folder.
Oh, good question.
Actually, I don't know. It's shared with me. Will I see it or not?
Okay, so I added yours. So you should just refresh it then and try if it fits.
No, it should be folder inside Google Drive. Because you have to be specific that it's on Google Drive.
It doesn't.
Okay, I have to certificate.
It's on WhatsApp. I shared on WhatsApp. The JSON you need like to place somewhere, and we will link to it, which is the client ID, and well, your account is already added. I mean, so it should work. Let's see. Continue. And you have to select all. I basically activated everything that was in that. Okay, or you can close the page and you can return to cursor and continue in the request because that's what it says.
I just leave it.
Yeah, because it says once it's authorized, I'll be able to do your request. Right? And it should give you like, wait, it's thinking. You yeah. And
Five or maybe eventually something.
I don't know, you know that's in your email. Are you trying to do your own?
And for the good, right?
Well, it's the same actually. You can type there because I did them commonly. There is the whole Google.
What can I ask?
I don't know. The structure.
It doesn't generate me proper.
The structure of your Google Drive folder, or I don't know. If you want to search for a specific file, like search me. I don't know.
How many files?
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Actually, in another dialogue, I have issues
That's why I
with.
said do a switch because on the
I don't know. It generates broken link in the cursor.
what
Olivia.
link are you trying to generate on
The certification.
Why are you trying to authenticate?
Because I made another chat and it asks me
But
again.
Anton, why would you need to change it?
I closed that window.
And it asks you again?
It asked me again.
That's actually nice. It didn't in my case. Ah, I know why it does this. So that's actually good. It asks you again because you're running with UVX, you're not running from local. When we have local, they created in a source repository, they basically create user authentication. So they store it there as cookies. That's what it does. Let's do them. Don't worry, we'll record it. I can hold it. Okay. Not a problem. Let's hold it. But you don't have to spend much trial. That's why I was explaining. Send me your email.
It managed to open it.
And I give you access on the ones that I did out the workshop. Send on WhatsApp the email. And from WhatsApp, you also have to download that JSON. I saw already sent the JSON. So I'm going to.
Yeah, so I managed to check its glucose DAO folder. They're saving the world. That's how Livia calls working folder of Google Glucose DAO. And we see that we have some files and some modifications. And I actually have bench link MCP also connected. Let's pollute it with some plasmids.
Polluted? You're
And
putting
you-
plasmids in my saving the world, Anton?
Well, you need the genetic synthetic
Put
biology
it in a
constructs,
separate folder. Do a separate folder
Okay.
there. Because
Create a
I'm not allowing you to.
subfolder called synthetic biology pollution in the Google, in the saving the sheet drive.
Okay. Send on the workshop so I can have your email.
Okay.
It's
Actually,
fine, right?
it actually cannot create folders, surprisingly.
Are you sure? It's true they had lots of tools and I didn't get to check everything. So
That cursor actually disables tools over 40. So if you have 62 tools, that it randomly disables.
okay, we have to do some.
I'll actually, I'm uploading MCP config to Saving the World just to test. Yeah, and oh, it messed up the parameters. It's so AI-like.
Okay. Show me how it's formulated.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, you have to download the JSON, put it in. It's the client secret JSON.
So we share the client secret from the
Yes,
project.
because the client secret is the one that allows you access to the app. And since you've been added as tester, the you can access that app. It's not that you're all accessing the mail. You don't have to access the mail. So that's the thing. But you have to put it somewhere and
Oh, Olivia, I'm successfully polluting your folder.
it's okay. It's shared Google Mail, so you're filling your folder. Yeah. So you have to take the path, like the address where it's stored. and paste it into the JSON, paste it in the add a new MC, go to WhatsApp. And I pasted this thing, copy the whole stuff.
I'm actually now polluting it with some CRISPR. So I connected to my BenchLink account. I will download CRISPR circuit from there, and then I upload to Google Drive. At least that's what I'm trying now.
Should be the tab where you paste the one where you pasted your file, whichever it is. Yeah. But it doesn't really matter.
But it needs better prompts because it's figure out that.
So I have
Mm.
in the secret.
Okay.
I only enable this one. And yeah, I did not follow.
No, you need to actually have an actual check because if you do separately, you can also install UV, but the complete package of UV should contain UVX. Let's see if you have it.
I have UV, I don't have UV.
By default, UVX is installed together with UV.
Now,
It seems
if you install the complete package of UV, it is also UVX.
But does it with curl?
I don't think so.
You have to do it with curl.
Yeah, that's the issue because I had the same thing last time. Yesterday actually when I switched on because you have to have it installed.
so UV.
I actually have.
What happens here? Okay, save it. There,
Yeah.
I think I copy pasted the API key wrong for BenchLink.
disable it. Because you might have any issue with the UV. It's low. And it should be either red or green. So it's red. Probably they don't have blue yet.
Sometimes it works even when red.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has 44, and how am I to blame it has 44? It's Google, it has lots of rules. How is it? Now you can type here something about your Google. Google Mail, Google Drive, I don't know.
Mhm.
Search a mail about something or things like that.
That's the one working. I checked, I don't have to be
Okay.
installed Teams.
Yes.
So if I run a command, says that government people is not provided backup. I have to show inside of you.
No, you don't have to film it actually, because that's why you're doing it yet. So,
Also, it's around remote.
yes. Actually, I was thinking, it might be that. If I'm done,
Yeah.
I was just remembering everything I have local bank is closed.
You shouldn't do pip. No, there is an alternative way to do pip install UV, but the recommended way is you curl.
That's the UV, the package, the MCP package.
But why do you go pip install? It's stupid.
Well, because you have a package, you have UVX that runs it.
No, but typically if you install package, you say UV add. And but I mean, you can go pip install. It's just super old-fashioned way that can lead to troubles. I don't know. I am having. I'm having issues with my BenchLink MCP that worked really well when I pushed that in the morning. And that's really annoying because I was doing it at night. Okay, let me see. Okay.
No, what's happening?
It's running.
Okay. Wait.
No, I just want to, I just want to bench.
No,
Oh,
right
big
now.
batch, okay.
No, just regular bench.
Open.
Well, the one you use, let's see, because it should be there.
Yeah, that's what I do. I know that.
So let's go.
I want UVA.
I can't please you. Sorry, scroll down. Yeah. And now, close it over, just close it. Okay, close it there.
And this is the whole thing.
Yeah, you try the question.
Hold on, Google Workspace, is it Newton Winter who republished it?
No,
It's official?
Yes, official.
Okay.
It was actually published by the person who wrote the report.
And you use with UVX?
Yes.
Wow, and you installed it when the UVX? And that's all the installation, because maybe it's.
I
Yeah,
saw it like yesterday from the link we have in the description.
okay.
Maybe we can get
Every time for.
Yeah, let me- Because it's really like a default.
We should have some.
So typically you have like, let's try. But you have to check what is can we go to repository to see like what is the default executable at home? Yeah, do we have home? How can they do without home? It's disgraceful.
Yeah, now, give me the mail.
It looks like, but hold on. Maybe they have several names because this looks like, let me see what they have. See, because maybe there are like, not the right.
It should go.
It's one TypeScript implementation.
And now I find the file.
This is fine, huh? So, yeah, this is another guy.
That's why.
And let's see. And it has underscores. So you have underscores in. Let's see.
You know, you what? And messages.
No. Maybe you can actually run the worker UVX from this, like this. They give it already here. But it's really funny it worked out of the box.
Yes, actually, it's working on controlling. I don't know why.
Maybe it's another repository, another package.
No, actually, I have a configuration, like issue with something that has similar name. Maybe.
Where was the API?
For what?
Invention.
You search it in your Google account, but for some reason, I don't know why, in your BenchLink account, you have settings in your profile, but I don't know why, but BenchLink actually has issues on my PC. I don't understand. But I wrote it at night, so maybe I was a bit sleepy and didn't notice something. That's my.
I just want to add. So, I mean, we have like 100 users cap and just 8 users on this one. So if other people want to join, just add the email, I'll add them. Or, I mean, if they want to try doing their own, just need to figure out how to sign up for the Google console. I literally clicked to see when they said Google console, and it took me to the site where Anton added me, and I was like, oh, I have a console stuff. Okay, let's use this.
I think, hold on. I think I actually put the key. Yeah, it was stupid. I edited the wrong file.
What?
I just have to copy paste my key. So batchlink actually should be working. And it's, let me restart the batchlink. And I want to see my batchlink project. And
Can we go to the
okay, it works.
Thank you so much.
Batchlink works.
Anton, it's wonderful that benchling works. Just trying to let you up. We have 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Anton?
Okay, so you have 15 minutes to get the keys, and yeah, and I give you the JSON, and the idea of your key is that in your batchlink account you have like I will give you a print screen. It's in your account settings. So you have to go to your account settings and you get a wonderful thing called key. And you can actually download sequences and other stuff from benchling. And actually, let me see if I can pollute Slivia saving the world with some CRISPR, because we need CRISPR to save the world.
At least do separate folders.
I don't know, it cannot create a subfolder, Livia. The Google sheet.
But create folder.
Okay, let me see. Okay, in the LR project, I somewhere have CRISPR sequence. Find it.
Okay, done one.
Mhm.
Să mă uit. Cum m-am uitat.
Oh,
Benching, Anton,
I got DNA sequence of my fancy CRISPR.
Anton, people seem to have some issues with
Okay.
And I just say that I need some environment variable. And
Environment, okay.
Deci ăsta este account tău și ce-a dat...
Nu este API.
Let me see. I haven't... N-am mai intrat în benchling de...
What do I put in the client ID? Client ID and the workspace.
Maybe it should.
It's the one from the environment file.
Because
Okay.
can you authenticate me?
Anton, he has no... his benchling does not provide the API.
Okay, so
For
let's
some.
go. What is benchling DNA settings? DNA Petre. Wow. Okay, it's differently for you.
Maybe you have like something.
Let me think.
I'm also trying. I have some benchling stuff, but settings
DNA settings.
maybe.
And it's academic account, right?
This one, no.
What is it registered with what?
Google.
My person.
Yeah, but I also have it as a personal. And this kind of where was it? Let me see.
API keys.
Session managers. No, let me just go like the way from typically find it. And ADP. I actually don't know. For me, it was this.
I think you activated something.
Maybe you have to deactivate
Or
maybe you have can you ask Perplexity if you need to activate something?
maybe for academic.
For me, it was just
You did activate something because I have the same stuff and I don't have the code.
let me actually check indeed because okay, let's go Perplexity and actually check.
Okay. Sign up for free. Who the hell cares? Sign up with Google.
Mm,
First library. Maybe it's you have to do some editing of data because they see the API provides create, read, update, delete access to almost all data. Maybe.
so they say like okay, and you have contacts, right? I think you do.
You contacted me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and also you're a friend of Radu, right? Or not? No.
Radu teacher?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thanks for attending.
Bye.
So
I can't reach some current.
Get access to developer platform. That's Anton. The thing.
the thing is that we both have personal accounts,
No, you have access to developer platform.
but why he doesn't?
Anton, you have.
Okay, why I do if I also have personal account?
I'll put on the WhatsApp.
Hmm.
Because probably you access developer account. You have personal.
There is a tenant admin console somewhere that you have to like find. A tenant admin has to open avatar, tenant admin console, users manage application access. I actually have no idea.
I'm searching.
Settings API keys page. Even on single user personal tenants benchling now hides the settings API keys page until the user has the developer platform capability enabled.
Maybe you'll receive it as a bonus if you do lots of stuff.
So he has to click on avatar and find some kind of tenant admin console. And then you go to users tab and select your user and say manage application access. And then you see that developer platform must be activated. I don't know.
Go there.
Let's go.
Click on avatar.
Yeah,
Where is the
I don't know. Maybe they don't know themselves. Create a new organization. Oh, it's first. Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay, make it like that. Because somewhere all vendors and we change password.
Request.
Hold on, it's for organization. You should enable, or maybe you can enable the organization and just members. No, actually, I don't know. I somehow managed to make it work for myself. Maybe you can do investigation. It's like, I don't think I can get it in 5 minutes because the documentation sucks.
It does actually.
Yeah, Charles? But we are finishing the lecture. Online.
Someone. But didn't you make it like open? I mean, I think you. Let's see. Actually, I
We
don't.
actually have to stop now. I think maybe we can just do it outside of workshop.
What?
The benchling stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you should actually.
Yeah, so guys, thank you very much. I hope you learned something interesting. Thanks to you as well and to our hosts.